It seems like just yesterday all of us came to Central. I really can't believe these years have gone by so quickly and that we're actually graduating this year. I can remember the day most of us walked into Mrs. Seeger's kindergarten class, not knowing what to expect and maybe being a little nervous. But now school seems routine, which on some days I don't really look forward to. After all, most of us have spent more than half of our lives here, if you can believe that. Anyway, this speech is going to be dedicated to my class and all the crazy, funny, and awesome moments we've had throughout the years, and in particular, throughout our last year at Central Public School. So to start off, I'm going to tell the wacky story of how a teacher we all know very well got pulled off her rolly chair. Of course, this teacher's name is Mrs. McNabb, but some might refer to her as Central's coffee lady. She taught me and a couple of others for more than 3 years, but this funny memory was the first year she taught us in the grade 1-2 class. It was a regular grade 1 morning, and everyone was sitting around Mrs. McNabb's chair, picking their noses and twiddling their thumbs. Come on, let's face it, that's what grade 1s do. Now, knowing how mischievous little grade 1 minds work, we thought it would be hilarious if we pulled our teacher off her chair that morning. So everyone gave a tug and plop. We had succeeded. The teacher had been pulled and may have pulled a muscle or two in the process. In fact, speaking of Mrs. McNabb reminds me of the day that, in the grade 3-4 class, the day that we presented a play called St. George and the Dragon. At the end of the year, the grade 3s were going to present that play. Now, if I remember correctly, Maria was a hermit, David was a king, Haley was a dragon, Clay was the narrator, Maggie was a dwarf, and Daniel and I were the exciting, loyal companions. Oh man, those were the days. As the years went by, our friendships had just gotten stronger and stronger. We could always count on having an awesome friend at Central to help us with whatever we were doing, whether it was track and field or a big group project. Even though most of us are going to Willow and will be separated into different classes, I hope that we all stay in touch, because I think we've all gotten to know each other a little bit better, and maybe have started a few new friendships too. I really and truly couldn't ask for a better class to be with, through the good and maybe the few bad times. Speaking of bad, or maybe just speaking of the deafening, I honestly thought I was going to pee in my pants at this year's seasonal celebration. A boy by the name of Fergus Campbell made this night even more enjoyable than it already was. Okay, so our class is going to sing a song called Tears Are Not Enough by Brian Adams for this special event. We got up on stage, most of us ready and prepared. The music started and we were doing all right, aside from the fact that we were totally off pitch and ahead of the music. But anyways, when we got to a line of the song that said, "Oh, you know that we'll be there," well, we weren't. So Fergie Ferg comes in with a solo, which makes us start to laugh. So even though after this point most of us were laughing too hard to keep singing, Fergus's little solo had been the highlight of the evening. So now that I look back, I really gotta say, Fergus, thanks for singing your heart out. Another crazy grade 6 moment I remember really well was on our graduating trip at Wilfrid Laurier University called Jump. Now, as most of you know, we got to choose classes and activities to take, and one we chose was swimming. It was really fun. But before we went swimming, we met on the pool deck waiting to get instructions. The lifeguard came over to us and said, "All right, everyone come in," meaning for us to come closer to him to hear the rules. But maybe taking it a little too literally and not fully understanding what he means, Fergus jumped into the pool, not knowing what he did wrong until everyone starts laughing and the lifeguard says, "Please come out." So we climbed out, but really, who could blame Fergus? I mean, we wanted to get past the rules and into the pool too. The lifeguard did say come in. Throughout the years we've had here, we've had an awesome team of teachers behind us. Mr. Anderson, Mrs. McNabb, our grade 5 teacher, Miss Hastings, Kelly Butts, who used to be our secretary, Mrs. Seeger, and Mr. Preston, and many more. Oh, and I might be the only one that remembers this from kindergarten, But does anyone really understand why Mrs. Seeger would always say "toodle-aw" in her good morning song? Really, what does toodle-aw even mean? It sounds more like good afternoon than good morning. The one person I really missed in our last year and remember really well was our principal, Mr. Diamond. He was so great. I can still remember all the supportive and smart things he had to say, like common sense, common courtesy, to help our school become a better place. Honestly, these years have gone by so fast. I just can't thank everybody at Central enough who is here with us. I know that it might be a little sad to be leaving Central, but we have so many good things to be looking forward to in the future. And besides, seeing that I've won something in the barbecue raffle every single year, but not this year, I think it's a signal for me to get going, along with my class, I guess. And now, to finish my speech, I'd like to quote Ferris Bueller. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you can miss it. And I'm sure glad we didn't miss this. Thank you, and toodle-aw.